Ladies and passengers, all passengers. I forgot we were going to start. Passengers,
Hmm.
welcome back to the Driveway Podcast. Today we have a extremely special backseat driver. Is that what we called them, right?
I think so. I think so.
Backseat driver. He's a relation of the Jennings of Zach again. He is a Jennings, I should say, and he's the Jennings. Everyone, welcome Jacob.
Woo! Clap it up.
Hello, hello.
Clap it up.
Thank you
Clap it
guys so
up.
much for having me.
Thank you for coming on. So this you were also a famous guest on a separate podcast, the Closing the Gap Year podcast, and that was a great episode. Uh, so is this your third overall podcast episode that you've been a guest over? Because did you do two spots on the Gap Year or just the one?
I I think I did too.
Okay, so this is your would is it fair to say this is your third time on a podcast?
Yes.
And I'm going to cause some controversy. Are you more excited to be on the Driveway podcast or the Closing the Gap Year
This
podcast?
depends how long the episode's going to be, Jake. So you better answer first.
Oh, I am so much more excited to be here again.
Yeah,
All
let's go.
right,
Screw
good
you. Walk
answer.
on.
Good answer.
I didn't even remember what that old podcast was called until you brought it up. But
Uh,
not
Burned,
yeah, Alex,
Alex.
I love you.
we're just joking, Alex. But our podcast's still going. Your podcast is no longer going. So we have outlasted you. So big business.
That is a good question. How many episodes did Alex have? Because we are doing well. We are in the 30s. So,
Hmm.
but to be fair to Alex, he did close the gap year, so that
He
was kind of
it
it was
was
kind of the point of the podcast.
it was a limited series. He had actually kind of a bit of podcasts. He didn't number them, kind of weird.
Okay.
I could count them after because it's just there are a lot of episodes. I won't lie.
Okay. Well, we won't get into the weeds. We'll just keep it light and um Zach is sorry, I'm
There
gonna
were there
have
were
to throw
24
to you.
episodes. Yeah,
24.
there
Okay,
were
so we're
24.
getting
So
close to doubling his episode count.
what a
Oh
nerd!
my
If you
gosh.
haven't seen the Gap Year, go check it out. It's a pretty fun podcast.
It is a fun
I,
podcast. The Jacob episodes are
hmm
amazing. So we're
um,
hoping for another amazing episode today, and I know we'll get it
hmm
because he's just such a great guest. So we'll get Jacob talking a little bit here. Zach, do you have any questions? I know you're
I
kind of the question guy.
I do. I have kind of some ideas written down of what I wanted to go over with Jake today. So if in case you don't know, Jacob is my older brother. He was born in 1998, as we dox everybody on the pod. Um, so he is 16 months older than me. So, Jacob, I know we've talked about this a little bit, but I am, I guess, the middle child because Marky and Maddie are both twins. And so Marky and Maddie are both the youngest child, and you are the oldest child. So I guess walk me through what being the oldest child was like growing up. Like, did mom and dad ever say like, "Hey, go tell Zach to go outside," or did mom and dad ever like pressure you into hanging out with me or hanging out with Marky or Maddie, or were you just kind of just you got to do whatever you wanted? Kind of walk me through what it was like being the oldest child.
um, it has its perks.
Okay, okay.
Uh, I will say because I was the first child, I was definitely more of a guinea pig when my parents were taking care of me, trying to raise me. They did a good job, though. I want to make that very clear.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, but yeah, I think being the oldest child kind of meant taking on a little bit more responsibility. I mean, I was the first of the four to get their driver's license, and that meant taking you and our sisters uh, around town, especially when mom and dad didn't want to.
Hmm.
Um, uh, it also meant that um, I was kind of the quote unquote adult in the room when mom and dad weren't around. So, when they left the house to go out to dinner, I was the man of the house, and I had to make sure everyone was good. Yeah,
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
that's what I
Johnny,
had.
Hell
okay.
yeah.
Johnny, when your parents left as a kid, did they assign Katie as the quote unquote like man of the house or
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know like how late into childhood we needed a babysitter. We did summer nannies pretty late. I think it was up until Katie was in I think it was her freshman year of high school was the last
whoa,
summer that we had a summer nanny because
that
that
is
would have been
late.
12. So yeah, so it was pretty late. But I don't know what time. So basically my question is I don't remember.
Hmm.
Um but I'm sure of it, I don't mean to bash my parents, but I also don't remember them like leaving us alone a lot to be honest.
Our
So
our
they
parents,
weren't doing as much fun stuff as the Jenningses.
I mean, our parents were very strict growing up, so I don't know. Maybe when Jacob was bar mitzvah, I feel like that was the age where we kind of stopped doing
Sure.
the whole babysitter thing,
Like,
right?
yeah, get a babysitter.
Would you say
Uh,
that, Jake?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
and I think that's reasonable. Like a 13-year-old would be reasonably expected to be able to take care of a 12-year-old and what would have been like 8-year-old,
Not nine, I think. I think.
9-year-old.
Yeah.
Um, so, that makes sense. All right, can just because this sprouted into my head, um, and I got two great Jennings drivers here. I've got two questions, one specifically for Jacob and then one for both of you. Jacob, have you had any speeding tickets recently?
Oh my gosh. Come on,
When
man.
when was your last traffic violation, Jacob?
I have never had a traffic violation.
Wow. Oh.
This
Wow.
sucks, man.
So Jacob is confirmed a way better driver than Zach. But the other question that I wanted to ask you guys, I wanted you guys to give me like I want to do it too, but I want your guys, or maybe we should just all do it. Well, no, we probably can't do it. I was gonna say like our Mount Rushmore of Jennings family cars, because you guys have had some fun cars.
Oh, we have had some fun
So
cars.
I
That is
was just,
a
I guess maybe Mount Rushmore's too much, but I want to know your guys's. Maybe give me your top three, and you can overlap if you want. I want to know your top three favorite Jennings family cars. That I guess we'll say. Well, let's keep it to like when you guys drove. So
Oh, okay, okay.
let's not do anything too historical, but like from the time that you got your driver's license till now.
Jake, do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I can go first,
Go
sure.
ahead.
So, number one, I would have to throw in my first car, a, a 2014 Dodge Ram 1500.
Hell yeah,
Love that.
a
Yeah,
1,000%. That was a great car.
yeah, yeah. Love that car. It was very big, and many times it was hard to maneuver and park, and that caused me a lot of headaches, especially since it didn't have a backup camera.
It didn't?
No, it
Oh,
didn't.
oh, you know what? You know what? By the way, Johnny, to make fun of you real quick, I want to say something. Jacob got into an accident in the CM parking lot in that
I don't think
truck.
that made fun of me. I think that was
Yeah,
me.
but Jacob's not as perfect as he seems.
Yeah,
No, I'm joking.
I have been in a few minor scrapes or scrape ups,
Mhm.
but I they were not reported to the police or anything.
Big.
Yeah.
It happens to the best of us. Happens to all
Yeah.
of us.
I
Everyone
mean,
Yeah.
gets into a little scrape.
I'll say it. I scraped Jake's car before he did. I scraped the heck
You
out of his
christened it.
car. Oh my gosh, Jake, do you remember that?
The Ram?
The Ram. I scraped it so bad you couldn't open the back doors.
Oh.
I was on a date in high school and I was going to the movie theater and in the parking garage at the Birmingham 8, it was a really tight corner that we had to make and the car was so big and I just like turned it and it like crunched against the I don't know what it's called, the pillar
Pillar.
the
Yeah,
pillar,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It was really bad. Oh,
What are you gonna
it
do?
wasn't that bad, but it was funny. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. It
All right, so you're number
happens.
two. Sorry.
Number two, I would say um the car that I drive right now, the Ford Explorer,
Definitely.
2022 Ford Explorer. That's just a great car all around. My parents have said that it's a great car, mostly because it's clean, and that's because I take good care of it. Uh, yeah,
That was, I think, a big shot at Zach right
That
there.
was a big shot, Zach. And I'm gonna get into that after Jacob's done with his three.
yeah. And number three, I gotta give it to the vet. You know, the
Hmm.
50th anniversary edition 2004 C5 Chevy Corvette that we got lying in the garage because it's not summertime yet. So hoping to bring that boy out pretty soon. But yeah, that's probably the coolest car we've ever had.
Definitely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Love the vet.
That's so funny, Jake. All my three cars are different than your three cars. And it
Oh,
sounds like the
good.
Jennings are rocking and rolling with cars. We just have a lot of people in the family, and so we
That is
we,
true. Yeah.
we don't have like that many cars.
Right. And they do the rental thing, so that's
Uh-huh.
why, right? So you get new cars when your rental expires. So
Before we jump into my three, I just want to say, Jacob, if you know Jacob, I'm sure you know he's a very clean guy. He's very anti things in his car. Like he doesn't have a phone charger in his car. That's how clean it is. And I remember in high school, Jake and I used to share the Ram, or I guess when I had my, or I guess whatever year I got my license, like senior year of his senior year, my junior year, I might have had my
yeah, yeah.
permit, or I might have just got my license. Um, I would take the car for like he would have A lunch and I would have B lunch. So he would take the car, and then I would take the car. And during my lunch, a group of us would always go to Kroger, get bagels and like a block, like a giant square of cream cheese, and just like eat that in the car. And I remember so many times Jacob would go, Zach, when Jacob would drive me home from school, he goes, Zach, what's up with the car? I said, what do you mean, Jake? And he's like, look at the center console here. And there'd be like a centimeter worth of cream cheese like smeared, like blend it in with the center console. And he's like, I see that. I'm like, Jacob, what do you, I'm not supposed to live in, I'm not supposed to eat in the car. What are we doing here? So anyway, Jacob, that always made me laugh. But my top three cars, of course, number one is going to be the Ford Flex. Jacob, I'm actually kind of disappointed you didn't say the Ford Flex. What's the deal with that?
Well, that's your car more than it is my car. You have a fascination with the Ford Flex.
Everyone has a fascination with my Ford Flex. Jake, don't give me that. Jacob, you and I both know that is in your top three, and you were just leaving it out on purpose to rile me up, and it worked. So, but no, the Ford Flex number one. Number two, I'm gonna give it to. We used to have a white minivan,
Oh,
and
okay.
that was pretty much our high school car for like our high school family car. So we had that car for a really long time. But some lore, we used to have a black minivan before the
Yeah,
white minivan, and the
yeah.
black minivan was a piece of poop, man. It was like terrible. The side door would never open. So we
Oh,
have to get in like through the other side of the car, or we have to go through the passenger door to get to the back of the car. Um, that kind of brings me up to a next point because like Jake and I, we all had assigned seating in the car. It would go
yeah, yeah, yeah.
my dad would drive, my mom would be passenger, and then behind my dad would be Maddie or Marky. Do you remember, Jake?
I think it was
I
Marky.
think it was Marky. Marky would be behind dad, and then Maddie would be behind mom in the mid right, and then I would be back left, and Jacob would be back right.
Wow. Did you guys like being in the back row, or just you
We,
did it for the sisters? You did it to appease them so they wouldn't throw a fit.
I don't know if Dad told you what Dad told you, Jake. I asked Dad one time, and he said it was easier to buckle Marky Maddie in the middle seats and to get all the way back there and buckle them in because they're younger
Uh,
than us.
okay, okay.
So, Johnny, did you have assigned seating, or did you just kind of
Yeah, yeah.
did? Oh,
Katie was behind the driver, so my dad, and I was behind the passenger, my mom.
oh, you were back. You were mid right or
Yeah, I
back
was
right,
mid
I
right.
guess. Wow. Did you guys like being on the right hand side of the car?
Yes, and I kind of still try like it's more fun, I think, because I think you just get a better like kind of low key. No one really cares about the passenger that much, so you get when you're sitting in the back behind the passenger, you get like full view of the driver and what they're doing, and Just makes for some more fun. That's my
Mm,
opinion. And also, you can have fun with the passenger because you can look in their side view mirror and see them. So you get everything. But if you're behind the driver, I don't know. It's not as fun, I don't think.
hmm. That's true. Jacob, any thoughts on being the right versus left? Do you agree right's better or?
You know, sitting in the back right,
Hmm.
you're basically sitting on the opposite spectrum of where the driver would sit, top left. So you're probably seeing a lot of things that the drivers typically don't notice or appreciate. And yeah, it just kind of gives you a better perspective on this world we live in.
I love that answer. That was a great
Wow.
answer.
Good answer.
Good
Good
answer. Good
answer.
answer.
I try.
Um, and then number three. Okay, this honestly should have been number two. Johnny, do you remember the 300 car?
Oh yeah, baby.
That car was electric. It wasn't an EV, but it was electric.
Unbelievable job. If I can
So
interject, I'll give my three real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
Chrysler 300 is my number one, like hands down. That shit was so sick, especially
So sick,
watching
dude.
Breaking Bad, like at the same time as driving that around. You're like, I'm fucking Walter White out here. I loved the Ram too. The Ram truck was so cool. It was so much fun jumping in that thing. Like
Hmm.
it was just massive. You were so high up off the ground. The cabin was massive. Like there was rear doors, like it wasn't just like you didn't have to like climb in the back or anything like that. You had so much space. That was a great little car. And then um I mean the Flex is obviously a classic. The Bronco Sport's been real handy. Uh but I also want to shout out so I'll put the Flex at 3 and I'm going to give
Yes.
honorable mention to the Mercedes convertible, the white
Oh,
Mercedes
that was
convertible.
pretty
That
solid. That was a
was
pretty
that was a
solid
pretty
car.
solid car to be driving around too.
I remember during the track season, I'd have to say after school, and Jacob
Yeah.
didn't do track. And he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to wait for you." He would have, but he wanted to go home and get his homework started. So I would
Right.
drive the Mercedes Benz to Midvale for some dumb reason, and then Jacob would take the Ram into the parking lot, which was a terrible idea. We should not put the Mercedes Benz on Midvale. I'm just you're just
Risk
begging for a
getting hit.
disaster. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
know.
are. Oh my God.
Hmm.
We can't forget the freaking Dodge Charger too. You guys had like a Charger
Oh,
for a
we
couple
did
years,
have a
didn't you?
Charger. Oh,
That
I
was a
forgot about the
legit
Charger.
car. That was fun. But it was supposed to be like Maddie and Marky's car or something like that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. They didn't like it. It was too not them.
Oh,
What
dang.
about car did they drive in high school, Jake? Did they have a Jeep?
Did they take the white Jeep that you had,
Oh, they might have taken the white Jeep. I hated that car.
or the white Ram?
They would not have driven the white Ram, Jake.
Yeah.
There's
I
not a shot Marky or
yeah.
Manny's getting behind that.
All right, thank you for indulging me. I just
Yeah,
wanted
no,
to
that
reminisce
was
on
so fun.
Jennings
I
cars.
haven't thought about those cars in a long time. I forgot about the Chrysler 300 until you brought it up. I mean,
Yeah, the 300.
what
Oh,
a crazy car that was.
that was a great car.
Gray
Oh,
cars.
cool, John. Thank you so much for that. I had so much fun doing like just talking about that.
My pleasure.
But Jake, the next thing I want to go over. So Jacob, as we all know, a very smart guy. In case you don't know, um, like one of my favorite, and like from birth, Jacob has always been a smart guy. One of my favorite stories of Jake was when he was really young. Like I'm talking about less than a year old. My mom and dad went somewhere. Like I think it was before I was born. But my mom and dad went somewhere, and my aunt Sharon was watching Jake, and Jacob like hit his head on something, and he was like really upset about it. And my mom and dad came back, and they noticed the bump on his head, and Sharon's like, "Oh, he didn't do anything. He's fine." And then Jacob was like, Jacob couldn't talk yet, and he walked over to where he like fell and hit his head, and like pointed at it, and then pointed at his head and kept pointing at it. And my mom's like, "Jake, did you fall right there?" And Jacob's, I don't know, somehow conveyed to our mom that he did in fact fall right there. And then Aunt Sharon got in a little bit of trouble. But from that moment forward, I mean, Jacobs has been a absolute master of the intelligence. I mean, he went to U of M for crying out loud. I mean,
Go
if you don't know,
Blue,
it's
Michigan man.
Go blue.
but and then so yeah, Jacob's a really smart guy. But Jacob, one thing I want to talk to you about, which we kind of talked about before, but I just want to get your perspective on it again. So you graduated in 2020 during COVID. I get like because you had spent 3.5 years there. You were ready to graduate. Was the fact that COVID it took away your whole graduation? Did that kind of bum you out? I guess do you think you got it worse than we did? Like Johnny and my senior year, because we really were all virtual our last year, and we did get to graduate in person, but it was kind of like, or at least I did. I don't remember what U of M did,
Yeah.
Johnny.
Yeah, they had an option to graduate in person, but it was wishy-washy.
Okay, so I guess walk me was through the 3.5 year build up to graduation just a big letdown for you?
It was disappointing. I'm sure for everyone who was part of my class, they were a little disappointed. However, early on in the pandemic, I quickly realized if the only thing I lost was my graduation ceremony, then I must be very lucky.
Oh, all right. Well, that's a really good answer.
Yeah. Yeah. And we did get to graduate in person 2 years later. So, I did get my graduation. I got exactly what I wanted. It was just delayed.
Mm-hmm. Again, you had to wait the 3.5 years, and you had to wait 2 more years on top of that. And also, funny story, Johnny, I'm sure you know, but we ran into Johnny's parents at the graduation ceremony.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That's
didn't go.
right.
Like
You didn't
Jacob,
go?
so it was 1 year after my our Zach and my graduation. Sweet, right? So the ceremony was held in 2022. So all 2020 and 2021 graduates were invited to attend this 2022 special graduation. And I stand by it, but I did not go because um we can get more into it, but I just didn't like my time at Michigan. Um so so I didn't go out of rebellion to be like, nah, I don't know. I don't know. So I didn't go. And then I get this text. I don't know if it was from Zach or my dad, but it's just like my dad with Zach and Jacob and Maddie, or maybe it was just Zach, Maddie, and Marky. And he's like, guess who we ran into? You guys were there. But that was
Yeah.
also Mother's Day weekend. And so I flew
Mm.
in for the weekend from Kansas City and we went out to dinner. And did we see each other going out to dinner too? Like, didn't we make a point to see each other,
I
or did that not happen?
That sounds familiar. I
Right?
want
I
to.
feel like
I,
that
I
might have
want to say
happened.
yes. We'll say yes for the story, but
Yeah,
I
we'll say
honestly
yes
don't
for the story.
remember. Um. So I guess Jake. I guess Johnny. I didn't know. I knew Johnny was not thrilled with his U of M experience. I didn't know it was like. Would you say it was negative?
Um,
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
no comment. No
No
comment.
comment.
Next
Okay.
question. No comment. Next question.
So Jacob, I guess.
I'm
Do you think?
sorry. I cut out there.
Oh, that's okay. I was just. Johnny
We'll
just
edit
said.
that out. We'll edit that out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cut that. No. So I guess Jacob, do you think your experience at U of M was like, they always say college is the best 4 years we're gonna have. Do you think that was some of the best 4 years you ever had?
That's a good question. If college is the best 4 years I'm ever going to have, then what do I have to look forward to for the rest of my life?
Hmm.
For
So,
real.
yeah. So I wouldn't say they were the best, the absolute best 4 years of my life, but they were fun. I got to be on my own. I got to
Oh,
All
we
right,
lose
we
him.
lost him.
We lost him.
We lost him. All
Oh,
right,
Jake.
ladies and gentlemen, this episode is brought to you by Old Spice. So just real quick, while we're waiting to get, is Jacob
Oh,
back?
is
I
Jacob
see him
back?
blinking. He's back.
Oh, he's
Okay, he's
playing.
back.
Okay, he's back.
sorry.
That's right. We
I cut
lost it
out
a little
again.
bit.
Um, Yeah, we can edit that
Out
out
of that
too.
bar, out of that bar.
Yeah, but
Um,
yeah, I just got to do my own thing, and you know, there were periods when I kind of thought that school was becoming a little too hard, and that kind of negatively impacted my experience. But I think Ann Arbor is a special place, and I'm very grateful that I got to be a part of it, and I'll always be a true blue Wolverine.
so I know we've kind of Johnny, I've talked about this before. If you could go back in time and redo one thing from college, whether it be like join a club or talk to someone new or anything like that, what would and Johnny, I'll open that up to you too. What would be one thing
Sure.
you'd want to do specifically? Like transferring colleges, that's not allowed. If it has to be
Right, right,
something
yeah, yeah.
at U of M, you did.
Jacob, you first.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Um, I think if there's one thing I wish I would have done, I wish I would have managed my time a little bit better. I wish I would have dedicated the appropriate time to studying and focusing on my classes because that would have allowed me to focus other time on extra curriculars and
Yeah,
clubs. So, yeah, that's what I
Cool.
would change.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There, I guess we'll start from the very beginning. I won't say that like I mean, it would have been freshman friends too, so who knows if they would have lasted. But there is a pivotal moment. I swear it's a pivotal moment in a poor choice on my part where I chose there was two paths ahead. Nighty, shout out Nighty, and Ethan, shout out Ethan. I'll never forget junior year track. That was fun. I'm not bashing you, Ethan, but they were hanging out and they invited me to hang out, and that was one path. A second path, I had just been watching soccer with this group of guys. They were seemingly pretty cool, and they invited me to go play FIFA with them. And obviously, I'm a big, FIFA fan. I had two paths set. I should have, I wish I would have, again, who knows? I might not have even made friends with these guys. Nothing might have come of it. But I do wish that I would have tried that path and tried to, take the new friends path instead of going and hanging out with, you know, a couple of
Right.
ops. So, so again, like it might not have been as pivotal a moment as I think, but I do like to think back on that and be like, man, was that a pivotal moment? Like, did I have an opportunity there to, you know, get some new friends? Because for me, freshman year, making new friends was hard. I didn't have many new friends. So I think so that's why I count it up as a pivotal moment. Like it might have helped. Especially because they lived at the dorm that I lived at too.
hmm
So I guess that's my choice. Of course, I wish I would have joined like a million different clubs, or at least something else. But I guess one thing that I did well that I really enjoyed was Quidditch, but unfortunately, that got basically canceled because of COVID. So
Right.
we were cooking, but then the fire got doused.
We had something there, and it
We had
all
something
came
going.
crashing down.
So hopefully that wasn't too downer of a
No,
sentiment.
no, no, no. And everyone thinks of the what could have been
Yeah.
situation. Um, no, I mean, and like I said, those freshman year friend groups, not to, you know, not to say you chose wrong, you chose poorly, but
Hmm.
I loved my freshman year friend group, and I'm not friends with all of them, but I'm friends with some of
Yeah.
them, and it was very beneficial for my development as a college kid.
Yeah. I know. I get you. That's why I think about it. I don't think about it all the time, but it definitely still noodling around up there for sure if I'm, saying it on the podcast. So
hmm
what
All
were
right,
we
well,
just talking about? Did we just say something else? No, you said something about freshmen. I had one more thing I wanted to comment on. Now I forget. Rats. Okay. I guess that means we should move on though.
okay.
But if I think of
Um,
it, I'm absolutely
yeah,
going
yeah.
to
If you think of it,
Energize.
please hop back into this time period. Um, Jacob, you and I growing up together, we were forced to do a lot of the same activities. Like you and I did karate for a couple seasons. Um, we did lacrosse for a summer. We were on the same little league team a lot. By the way, Johnny, what little league team were you on? I know we talked about this with Luke. I can't remember.
Yeah, there's a few. I mean, I was on the
You?
A's, I was on the Cubs at one point, I was on the D-backs, so that was just a few of them.
Right. It's funny because Jacob and I were also on the Cubs and D-backs. We must have like flip-flopped the years or like
Yeah,
year before. Um, but one thing Jacob and I used to love doing together was playing video games. Jake and I, growing up, our video game console of choice was the PS2.
classic.
Oh my gosh, did we spend so many hours on that PS2? And Jacob was always P1. I was always P2. I don't think there was ever a time in my life where I was P1, unless like I tricked Jacob and going, "Hey, Jacob, you want to play a video game?" And then he would notice he was P2 and he would take the P1 controller back. Um, so I guess like Jacob, what were your favorite video games growing up? Because I can like rattle off so many off the top of my head. Because I know you're still a big video game guy now, but I want to hear the ones that developed you into the video game guy you are now today.
Wow. How much time do we have on this podcast? Well, first of all, the reason why I always was P1 is because I'm the older brother. I get
Exactly right.
P1. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. That's just how it flies.
That is how it flies. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just wish, one time I could have experienced P1.
You
Um,
can
yeah.
be P1 now, I could come over and play on your Switch
No,
and
no, no. That would
be
that that would
P1.
ruin everything for me. I like being P2.
All right. Favorite video games, though. When I was really young, when I first started playing video games, one of the first games that I had on the console and I played the absolute hell out of it was Crash Nitro Kart.
Oh, dude, I love Crash Nitro Kart. I was hoping you were gonna say that one. Oh,
Yeah, it was a racing game, and nowadays I don't have any racing games because I think racing games are boring. And but that was an important game uh, in my video game experience. Uh, Other games, Sly Cooper.
that was a great one too. I loved
Yep,
Sly Cooper.
yep. I had all three games, played every single one of them. That was a very influential game. Um, when I got older, into middle school and high school, the Batman Arkham games, oh,
Oh,
those were world changing. Yeah. Some of the best games ever made, in my opinion.
yeah. I never played those, but I used to watch you play them all the time. I'd be like, man, Jacob's kind of cooking here. Do you think you were good at the game, or was the game like easy to follow?
That's a good question. Most games, especially when I was younger, I would always choose the easy
Oh, okay,
difficulty.
nice.
Yeah,
Ah, man.
I'm starting to like, play like normal or medium difficulty. Maybe one day I'll be brave enough to play hard.
Shout out Epic Cakes. Always doing those challenges.
Yeah, always doing those challenges.
Yeah.
Um, cool. And then so when you moved to the Xbox, you got to create. Also, before we go into that, Johnny, I don't know if you had this, but for the PS2, you had to have like the memory card or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you have those growing up?
Yes, I think I had two, maybe three.
Okay, we didn't get a memory card until like a year before we got rid of the PS2. So
Wait,
we,
but how did that work then? I thought you had to have it to like save your progress.
yeah, you did.
Oh,
We
so you just like never saved your progress?
No, we restarted every game every day.
So
I didn't.
that's actually like a good YouTube channel right there. Like, how many days will it take me to beat this game in one day? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know if that made sense,
No,
but
I get what you're saying, but like Jake and I, like that's why Crash Nitro Kart and Sly Cooper are so iconic to us because we played the beginning of it so many times. I could almost recite word for word, bar for bar, like the beginning of Sly Cooper, like one of the games, like
do
the
it.
monologue he has. Well, I'm not doing it now, not actually, but like if you started it, I could rap along with it. And like there was a Madagascar game. Oh, dude, Jacob, do you remember PGA Tour? We had a PGA Tour game, and the song was like,
Yes.
"Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in
Oh
here."
man,
That song was in it, and
DMX,
like
baby.
yeah, and that song, like every time we turn the game on, that song would just blast throughout the house, and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, who's playing PGA Tour?"
that's
So yeah.
classic. Yeah, the PlayStation was a great little console.
Hmm.
Interesting lore, Jennings reader lore. We share a PlayStation baby. I sold my PlayStation 2 to Zach for several years. I don't know why. I guess I think I told Zach I wanted to sell it for some reason, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'll buy it off of you." And then he did, and then I and then I was like, "I actually want them." I want that back. So then he sold it back to me. I don't know why. It's weird, but I definitely like I'm glad that I only sold it to Zach because I'm glad that I've got it back and just for like the posterity's sake because now I've got like the PlayStation 2, 3, and 4, collection in my
You were
hands.
you were a PS3 guy? I think I knew that.
Yep, I was a
Mm.
PS3 guy because all I knew was the PS2. My intro to PS2 was John Lootman,
Hmm.
and we played the crap out of that. And so then like my parents got me a PS2 and then all of a sudden I mean like talk about getting a memory card. I think I got the PS2 in like I don't know, 2011 when like
Oh,
right before the
what?
PlayStation 3 came
Oh
out.
no, Johnny.
And so like the next year I just ended up getting the PlayStation 3 um because I was just like, "Oh, that's just like that's the next one." Um uh so where was I going with that? So I didn't really know the Xbox. It wasn't until like middle school that I think I started, hanging out with friends who had an Xbox. I guess my
Hmm.
my main source would be like, well, because the other thing was I feel like a lot of the people had Wii's
Oh,
as
Wii's
well.
were massive. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So so I don't know how I missed the Xbox revolution, but yeah, I was a PlayStation 3 uh,
Did you have a
guy.
Wii growing up, Johnny?
No, but that was
Oh, you
big.
weren't
We
a
really
Wii?
wanted to get a Wii,
Hmm.
but we didn't. And as like a consolation, my parents got me like the PlayStation Move.
What the
Uh,
heck? What
it
even
was
is
like
that?
it was something that you could hook up like it was like a sensor that you put on your TV and then you plug it into your PlayStation and then I don't know if it was called PlayStation Move, I forget. But then you'd have like a Wii like remote and you could do like Wii like stuff. So you could, you wouldn't play Wii games like you had to play PlayStation, sponsored games, but
Hmm.
you'd have like a motion uh, controller that you'd use. But one thing that we had for PlayStation 2 that was awesome, I'm glad we had it, was we had Dance Dance Revolution for PlayStation
You
2.
did? I think I
Yeah,
remember you telling me this,
it
dude.
was so much fun. Oh, Jacob's here.
Oh, good. Hey, Jake.
We've got two Jacobs now.
No worries, Jake. We were just riffing the whole time. Um,
Yeah, just talking about video games. So,
man,
anyways,
DDR was so banging.
DDR was fun.
So the Jennings kind of console we had the PS2 first, then we moved to like the Game Boy Advance and the Nintendo DS.
Oh, yeah, we had a DS too. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then we
So
went
much fun.
to the Wii and then Xbox 360.
Sure.
And then that's when we kind of just went our separate ways. Jacob got the Xbox One, I got the
Yeah.
PS4, and then I eventually sold the PS4 to Ned.
Yes.
Then we got
Also, Jennings reader lore, I pressured Zach into buying the PlayStation 4, I think, right?
you
Isn't
did, you
that the
did.
story?
Yeah, you did.
All to play like FIFA that you ended up never playing FIFA
No.
with.
That's exactly it. That and Rocket League. I think were the two big ones.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think you got me into Rocket
Oh,
League.
was
I,
I
I
you?
didn't. Yeah.
Oh, what game did
because
I
I
thought
did
it
play
I thought
Rocket
Rocket
League.
League came with the PS4. There was a game that came with the PS4 that I thought we were gonna play. Maybe I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm
Wow,
talking
yeah, I
about?
forget. I know exactly. Yeah, I know what you're
The game doesn't
referencing,
matter.
but yeah, yeah.
Um, so I guess Jacob, now that you're back, I just had a question for you. So your Xbox username, if you want to play with Jacob, here's his username, is J Freak Show,
Love it.
right? I think.
It's JJ Freak
Oh,
Show.
okay.
Oh, put some
Okay.
respect on the name, Zach.
Sorry. So I guess what was your inspiration behind that? Because John, we all know Johnny's Laura Footchiken. We all know mine of the Jew dude, I guess. What's the lore of JJ Freak Show?
Oh, you know, I think what happened was when I had the Xbox 360, when we had the Xbox
Thank you.
360,
Thank you.
even though I mostly used it, um, when we initially had it, when we first got it, we did not know how to connect it to the Wi-Fi, so we couldn't get Xbox Live. And one of our family friends, this was during the summertime, they brought their family friends over to our house, to our old house to use the pool and stuff.
Who are these family
Yes,
friends?
okay. Um,
Wait, we have
the bear,
family friends bring family friends?
the Bearishes.
Who do they bring?
Uh, they don't live here. They live
What?
out out east. I think Mr. Bearish knows them.
I did not know this. This is crazy.
Yeah,
I'm with the audience right now. That's crazy. Okay, go ahead.
yeah. And their son, I don't remember his name, but shout out to him because he was a lot older than me and he loved playing the Xbox 360. And when they were there, he helped me set up the 360 and we were able to connect it and get Xbox Live. And when that happened, we had to set up the account and we had to choose our gamer tag. And he told me that his gamer tag was Freak of Nature. And when I was trying to think of a name for my gamer tag, I'm like, how about JJ Freak Show? You know? No one probably has that name. So, yeah.
Wow. That is an unnamed hero
Yep.
saved the day and created the man Jacob is. Wow. No, no, no. That is really cool. I don't know who this family friend is. I have no recollection of this whatsoever. Maybe I was like playing on my DS
Dude,
or something.
you're wasted back then. You're just drunk all the
Yeah,
time.
I was in rehab probably. But no, like that's cool. I didn't know all the lore behind that. And you know what? I wonder if man, he might never know the like you named yourself because of him.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Um, nice man, cool. Well, there's kind of one more thing I wanted to go over with you, and then I can kind of wrap it up. That would be so the Jennings household growing up was forced to be very artsy, if you will. Like we were very into music. So
Mm.
we played the piano since I don't know how old we were, maybe like very early elementary school. We had piano lessons like once a week. Jacob also plays the trumpet, or he played the trumpet in our high school band. Um, Jacob, do you think the fact that our parents kind of forced us to learn instruments like affected how much you like music, or like had like a big positive effect on you? I guess like tell me what your thoughts are on like how music and how like playing an instrument growing up like made who you are
Influenced his
and
worldview.
influenced you. That's a great word. Thank you. I couldn't think of that word. Influenced you.
Very profound question.
Thank you.
There was absolutely an impact. I think music is important to me. When I say that, though, I mean listening to music, not necessarily playing music. But yeah, I think, well, first of all, I think learning an instrument, the trumpet, shout out Johnny, also fellow trumpet. Yeah.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
And you
you know,
guys just do the podcast together then. You both event guys,
yeah.
both trumpet guys.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, that was what got us into band, and I think band was a very big thing in middle and high school. Made a lot of lifelong friendships through that. Um, Even though I don't currently play music right now, I kind of want to get back into it. For those of you who are tuning in and can't see the video, there's a keyboard in my room back there. If you can see it, where the cover is.
I got you.
Yeah. So I'm slowly trying to work my way back into music, and I hope that I can make it a lifelong thing.
I love
Awesome.
that.
Yeah.
How was I as a section leader?
Oh man, Johnny, we were the best section because of you, man.
Oh my gosh. You're just
Oh my
saying
gosh.
that. You're
Pandering.
just saying
No,
that.
He's just
No,
saying that.
I mean that. I mean that. You made our whole section. I mean, hang on. You, Michael Lutz, and Jack. Oh, what's his last name?
Oh, I'm blanking too. Tall fella.
Tall fella.
Yeah, blonde-haired guy.
That's all right.
I
We
can
don't
get
need to
it.
know
I
his
can
name.
get it. I can get it.
I don't want
No,
to.
no.
We shouldn't dox him anyway.
Continue doxing people.
Yeah. Oh, I apologize.
No. Jacob,
I
we dox people all of the time on this podcast. It's okay.
yeah.
No one listens to it, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, I'm just kidding. We have a loyal
fun people listen to it.
fan base.
Oh my God. Hold on a second. I'm going to the OG trumpet group chat.
Uh-oh.
Is Dan the
Okay.
OG Trump group chat?
Activity this year, March 22nd, 2025.
What?
Mike Lutz added Jacob Roble to the group chat.
What?
Roble?
Yeah, 7 years
way.
later. 7 years later, he's added.
Oh, poor Roble, man.
That is definitely unfortunate that he was not there in it already, but it's also, oh my gosh. What the heck? Jack's name in the group chat is just Jack.
Ah.
We'll never
All
know
right.
who this fella is.
Jack Tallfella. That's his official name.
Yeah.
October 30th, 2022. Minnie Brooks wished me a happy birthday.
Man, that chat's still active, huh?
That was 2022. That's 3 years ago.
It's still active in my book.
Brooksy, yeah, it is actually active technically. Brooksy texted on Christmas Eve, "Is anyone in Birmingham?" And I said, "I am." And no one said anything.
No. Oh, that's tough. Jacob, do you still have
Oh,
Ruben?
yeah.
No.
Oh, well, that's why he didn't respond. Jacob would have definitely responded.
Oh. Ooh, Elliot.
Bingo.
Jack Elliott. That's
Elliott.
who it was. Yeah.
I just
But
saw
yeah.
a trumpet family lineage tree and he had his name on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you, Jack, and Mike, you guys just killed it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was a fun, I will say this. That was probably one of the most fun sections that we've had that year.
Amen.
With that senior class, that senior, junior, sophomore, freshman class. Tons of fun. You know, the leaders are only as good as their followers, and you guys are some great followers.
Wow. Wow. Well said. Um, so I guess yeah, that kind of begs the question. And John, yeah, I'll ask you this too. Would you guys, because of how positive band and the whole music has done for you, has influenced you, would you force your kid to do like band or orchestra or choir, just like some musical thing? Because I know a lot of people, at least I bet that I met in college, all my college friends were like, never touched an instrument in my entire life.
Wow.
So I guess would you?
Yeah, I think I would. I think I was forced to do lessons for the trumpet. I will say I did not like it, but I think I don't I as I still don't, but I just never liked anything. I feel like on this podcast I'm always like I didn't like doing that. So I apologize, but I did not like doing it because I had to wake up Saturday morning to drive a half hour out to Farmington to do my trumpet lesson at like 8 in the morning.
Oh, that's
It was just
terrible.
not fair. Like
That is so unfair,
what
John. I'm so
what
sorry.
kid from 10 to 18 wants to do, wants to have their Saturday taken
You
up
had
by
you
a
had
trumpet
trumpet
lesson?
lessons for 8 years?
Yeah, and it still sucked.
Oh my God. No wonder you were section leader.
I
Oh
should have
my
practiced
God.
more. That's something like I did those trumpet lessons, but I should have practiced. I should have practiced more outside of those lessons. But yeah, no. Um, so it's a fine line to toe, but if you can find the balance, I think yes. I think you gotta force that because it's so much nicer to have that in your bag, have that in your locker.
Hmm.
I wish I did piano though too. Like, I know you can always start now. I could always start now, but it would have been kind of cool to like, because like as a kid, someone like I think I've already said this, but like Michael Cummins coming over to your house and being like, "Oh, you've got a piano," and then just playing like flawlessly. I don't know, some whatever he plays. You're,
Burlees.
oh, I want to be that guy. And then same with like Zach. Like you've always got all these, songs up your sleeve, whether it's like Don't Stop Believing or
That's
I,
classic, yeah.
I don't know, some other ones. But like whenever you like get on the piano, tickle the keys, I'm like,
Hmm.
man, that's so cool.
Oh, I would say Jacob's definitely a better piano player than I am. I just have memorized like four songs, and I just whip them out I rotate through those. So,
They're cool, man. They're pretty damn cool.
so Jacob, I guess what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I I would definitely encourage my kids to pursue music. I think learning an instrument is great. I just think it's good for anyone. Yeah, and I would hope that they would want to continue with it for their life.
Maybe even in college and in college marching band?
Ooh, that might be a little bit too much of
Ah,
a commitment.
it is.
Um,
Would you guys make your kids play like the trumpet, or would it not matter what instrument they played?
it wouldn't matter.
I agree. It wouldn't matter. I do think so. Zach, you'll have to let me know. I think it does. It is kind of nice playing the trumpet because it is such a lead instrument. It's got so many of the melodies
Hmm.
in songs, so many big parts in songs. I mean, like marching band, the trumpet's like, I mean, we play like all the melodies in marching band. Um, and then sit down band, it's a big feature. So I think I would, and my mom kind of did this too, but I think I would try to encourage them to do something that's fun like that, like trumpet, clarinet, something that's going to have a lot of those fun leading parts. I think that makes for some more fun. But obviously, Zach, you can speak to that a little bit. Like, did you ever feel left out playing tuba and just being like,
All the
boom,
time.
boom, boom, boom?
The only time where I felt important was like senior year of high school. We had that, what is that, Holst?
Yeah, yeah. Holst suite or suite for military band number two, I think.
Number two. Yeah, number two, the tuba had the melody, and that was the first time where I like played something.
Yeah, you and
And
Priscilla Lloyd.
me and Priscilla Lloyd,
Uh,
man. Oh,
so many names dropped.
Docs again. This is
So many names.
Doc City. Um, no, but most of the time I didn't mind it because I didn't have to try super hard because it was just like the same four notes every measure, but it would have been nice to again like once or twice a year have more of a integral part into the melody.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not like butthurt. I don't lie awake at night wishing I had more melodies in college and high school and middle school.
Sure.
hmm
That's fair. I think yeah, I mean that's definitely fair. Like I'm sure you wouldn't lose any sleep over it, but like
No.
in the moment, I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit more fun. Like when we get to play like the Pirates of the Caribbean theme and we get to do the
hmm
theme and then of course like you're over there, like I said, playing like bum bum bum
Bomb,
bum.
bomb, 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 bomb. Yeah. All right, Jake.
Meanwhile, we're
Well,
doing like da 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 da.
yeah, yeah. No, that's cool. All right, but that's everything I had for you, Jake. I'm sorry Michigan lost to Auburn. I'm sorry Michigan State
Oh
lost to
yeah, we
Auburn.
shoot, yeah.
Do you want to talk about March Madness real quick?
We've got like two things that we have to interject on. We have to talk about March Madness, and then we have to shout out Jake and his fantasy performance over the
Oh yeah,
weekend.
okay, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why I didn't.
Unbelievable,
All right.
unbelievable.
Well, March Madness and then fantasy, then we'll wrap up.
We got 1 minute per topic.
Yeah, March
So
Madness, lame this year.
you know what? I agree. Lame.
Um,
Only losers made the Final Four this year.
everybody in the world wanted Michigan State Elite Eight game. Everybody wanted that.
Right? That would have been so much fun.
It was so much fun. So I'm bummed we didn't get that. I would have loved to face you guys in the Elite Eight. Not necessarily not even saying like oh we'd win because again it's hard to beat a team that many times in a row. But it would just like the state would be so excited.
Yeah, yeah. The stakes would be high, and yeah,
Mhm.
it'd be electric. What you gonna do?
And then last thing I just want to go about Jacob won. So in our family fantasy league, Jacob was our most recent winner. It was the same championship in 2020, I guess 2025 as it was in 2024. The past 2 years basically were the same finalists. It was Jacob versus our family friend Lily.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, Lily just bodied Jacob. It wasn't even close. Jacob, it was like Jacob's worst game of the year too. And this year, it was all building up again. It was Lily versus Jake in the final. Jacob texts me. He's like, I cannot lose to Lily again. Not even because Lily's team was fine, but like Jacob's team was really good this past year.
Yeah.
And Lily's team was good, but it wasn't the powerhouse that Jacob's team was. So in the championship game, Jacob finally defeated Goliath, his arch nemesis in the league. They both came in at the same time and won the championship. Jacob, is the trophy still in your room?
Yep.
Oh, good.
All
Okay,
right.
good.
I'd love to hear that.
Yep.
When are we gonna get that thing engraved, man? My name's still not on
Your
it.
name is still on it. This summer, I promise you, it is going to get engraved, or maybe even earlier than that. I promise you. You come back in August. By the time you come back in August, the name will be engraved.
All right, let's shake on it. Shake.
Jake, I'm gonna need that back soon so I can get that engraved at some point.
Yeah, no problem.
But shout out Jacob. I mean, I haven't won the championship in the league since 2020, or since 2017. Johnny hasn't won it since 2021. So it's been a long time for me, and I'm glad to see that the Jennings won the league.
Yeah, that is true. It's probably nice seeing Jennings. It's gonna be nice having a Jennings back on that
hmm
trophy name. Because yeah, for a while it was all non-Jenningses.
Yeah, for
So,
since 2017. Yeah, Marky
right?
Maddie were
Yeah.
in the league. They haven't won much. They will.
They beat me all the
They
time.
beat you all the time. They
They
beat
got
me
my
a lot this
number.
past year. Oh my gosh! One episode we got to talk about Marky Maddie's draft. Maybe like the next year if we're still doing the pod. We'll talk about the draft. Oh, that'd be a fun episode.
Yeah, yeah.
A draft
Post-draft.
recap.
Yeah. We'll do a special for sure. Alrighty, well, I think we're gonna end it there. So, Jacob, thank you so much for coming on. It was a lot of fun having you. Do you have any closing statements you want to make? Any advice to give to our listeners?
I would like to let the passengers know that they've got the two best drivers in the entire world.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh, I'm blushing in the club right now.
I'm glad we're audio only. Otherwise, they would see me tear up right now. Well, Jacob, thanks so much for coming on, man. Really appreciate you. And I'll probably see you at some point this week.
Wednesday
But-
night, right? That's the
Yeah,
night.
Wednesday night dinner for the boys.
The boys' night.
If anybody's in town, come join us for Wednesday night. We go to a new place every week. It's a lot of fun.
Really? Where are you guys gonna go this week?
Jacob's usually our restaurateur
choice.
guy. Yeah, he's a choice maker. Where did we go last week?
Chooser.
Oh, I think we brought in because
Oh, we did.
yeah.
Because Alex was leaving.
Oh, okay.
what-
Right on.
What was that one corner spot in Birmingham?
Corner
You guys went
spot.
to the corner spot. I got like that weird Korean food. We were just there. I'll look it up, Jake. Are you kidding me? You don't remember the name? Jake, it's
How
on
how long was it ago?
like a couple weeks, maybe.
I know we went to Social Birmingham Pub. What?
Maybe it was Birmingham
You guys
Pub.
went
No,
out to Birmingham
It
Pub?
wasn't Birmingham Pub. We did go to Birmingham Pub. That was cool. It was expensive.
Swanky.
Expensive.
Yeah, it is, no doubt.
Birmingham is expensive. Period.
Okay, so Zach, next week you have
It was
to update
Townhouse.
us.
It was
Where
Townhouse.
you went.
Oh, Townhouse. That's
Townhouse.
right.
Oh.
All right.
Well,
Anyway, thanks all for listening.
yeah,
and
thank you all for listening.
for
Yep,
listening.
sorry,
Yeah.
go for it, Zach. My bad.
See you guys next week. That's all I had.
Thank
See
you guys
ya.
for having me.